This is Vicki Anderson, and I'm going to share with you today how to create an event in a resource calendar, which is the new way that we will be reserving computer labs and carts throughout the district, especially at the high schools where teachers need to check out the labs and have those times reserved. So I'm in Google Calendars right now, and of course you can get to Google Calendars anytime by clicking your apps launcher when you're logged in and just going to Calendars. Mine is a little customized here, as you can tell, and I'm happy to show you how to do that sometime if you want to contact me. But what we're going to do right now is I'm going to create a class calendar, and if you have a website, you can actually embed your class calendar right into the website, or you can just use your own calendar. Like I have by default have one called Vicki Anderson, but you can easily create a new calendar. So I'll do one here, and we'll call this English for Literature. And once I've set that up, I can simply just make sure I have all my settings here correct. I'm going to create the calendar, and it'll show up in my list over here on the left. Okay, so I want to go into my English for Literature calendar and create an event. I don't necessarily have to select it. I can just hit create, and then I can choose my calendar right here. Now, in order to reserve a lab, all I have to do is check the room. So I can go in and I can reserve a lab at the specific time that I want. So if I'm really hoping to get lab C104, I can select that first, and then I can put in my dates and times. So if I want to start on the 11th and reserve that for maybe first through third periods, I can do 7:30 to 10:30. And that's on the 11th. Okay, so now I have that selected. Notice it tells me right here that I'm in Coronado Lab C104, and I need to title that event. So we'll do Heroic Cycle Project. And then I can save my event. All right, my Heroic Cycle Project shows up right here. Now, if I were to try to reserve a lab for a time that it's already taken, okay, so I'm going to create another event, and this time my event is going to be a research project, so we'll do our research legwork, and we are going to schedule that on the 11th. And I'm just going to do from 8 to 9. So this is the same date that I scheduled something else, so I know that C104 is not available, but this is to show you what happens. So when I go to select a room, notice that C104 does not show up on the list because I already selected that for a different event, and anybody who tries to reserve that time will not be able to find that lab. But what I can do is uncheck Show Only Available. I can add that lab and then click Find a Time, and it will show me what times that lab is already being used. And now I can look at the whole week, or I can kind of change my range here so I can decide, okay, since it's being used at that time, I'll do my project from 8 to 9 here on Wednesday, and then I can simply save that and it will appear on my calendar. So it's very easy to add something to the resource calendar. You can make it part of your class calendar, and you can simply use that class calendar to keep track of what you're doing in the class each day, or you can just use the calendar in order to reserve your labs. And this way you won't have conflicts. It can't be reserved by 2 people at the same time, and it makes it easy to have the resources you need on your site location.